Hello everyone, welcome to CFC Fan TV. It's Sunday and my favourite video of the week, now as you call it, hashtag Ask Sophie or Ask Sophie in my language or my accent. I'm sure Rory, if watching this, will take the piss. But anyway, I'm excited. Thanks for all your questions, both on the community tab and on Twitter. I'm going to go through them now, some great ones. We're just going to go straight into it rather than giving an intro because we don't really need one, do we? We just want to know everybody's questions. So let's get going. I hope you've all had a lovely week. Mine's been very busy. I just had a roast dinner, so I'm sure you're all enjoying a Sunday roast as well. But yeah, I've liked your questions this week. Some of them made me laugh, and some of them aren't football related this week, which I love because just general questions I'm sure you want to know about me. As I wish I could interact with one of you lot. I think we're thinking of doing some sort of event soon, so hopefully that'll give us a chance to meet you guys and find out your thoughts on this season and so on. So yeah, right. Question number 1 is from Richard Mabry. I go to the football a lot with Rich. We're going to Barcelona along with Dan and a couple of the guys. So hello, Rich. He says, good question. Would you rather have Chelsea win the Champions League this season or go without internet for a year? Oh, that's such a tricky question. Okay, listen. I should say win the Champions League this year, but I don't think that I should have to choose between, being able to interact with all you guys, because if I've got no internet for a year, I can't upload for you lot. So, I mean, I would say that the most important thing is to be able to interact with you guys and, to have fun and go to the games and to upload pictures. So I should be able to do both. Richard, I can't answer that question. I should be able to do both, although I'm sure a lot of you will be saying that I should say win the Champions League hands down, but in this day and age, it's just not possible, I'm afraid. Next question, Doyle. Hello, Doyle. Says, what is it like living in London? Good question. I suppose that you don't live in London. I absolutely love it here. It's one of my favourite cities, if not my favourite. It's my home. It has been for the last 8 years. And I love how fast-paced it is. I love being able to go to nice restaurants all the time. I love being able to go to Chelsea. When I first moved to London, the first thing I wanted to do was go to the games all the time. So I moved near, like I said, in my first house, Sophie, I think. And I just love, just the whole atmosphere. A few things that bug me here and there. But apart from that, it's a great city. There's so much to do. It's such a pretty city. And yeah, one of the best cities in the world, if not the best, that's for sure. It's definitely my home, and you should visit if you haven't been here yet, Doyle. Come down. It's a brilliant place. Ross Fox says, I have just made myself some chips. Should I put the salt or vinegar on first? Right, very good question. Vinegar first and salt after, because I feel like the salt needs to soak into the vinegar, if that's a thing. But either way, I love vinegar so much. I used to drink little sachets of it, and then got a little bit of a stomach problem, so won't be doing that anymore. Anyway, next question. IVP, hello IVP, says, what was your first Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge? My first Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge, I think, was against Portsmouth. My dad took me. I was behind the shut-upper. I didn't live in London at the time, so coming up was just such a luxury for me, and I was like, I can't believe I'm here, and looking at it, and I was right next to all the players. When you just sit behind the shut-upper, it's close to the pitch you can be. We're quite lucky in the sense that our pitch is actually quite close to the fans. As if you go to, I don't know, like the Olympic Stadium, West Ham and everything, you're quite far away from the pitch. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We won, great atmosphere. I was right behind the goal, and great day, nice weather. And I was like, right, okay, next time when I start living in London, I was like, I've got to come here more often. And eventually, it happened. Stuart says, how many people support your Twitter feed? I'm assuming you mean how many people are nice to me. I would say it's mostly nice, mostly I'd say I get a lot more interaction now. Going to the games allows you to do that. I think, Twitter's my best way. I'm not actually a huge fan of Twitter, but it's a good way for me to connect with all you guys. So when I'm at the game and I post a picture, or when I'm at a game and I want to know your score predictions, I can just tweet out and you get, a few hundred replies, and it's a good way to sort of keep up to date with all you lot. And it's really our only connect. Social media's become such a big part of our jobs and bringing videos to you, because at the end of the day we can put out content, but if we don't get your opinions, then we don't really know what content to create. So that's a great way of doing that. So same, it's mostly supportive. Yeah, of course everybody gets their fair share of internet keyboard warriors, I think they're called, aren't they? But for me, I don't really pay too much attention. I think some things are very hurtful, but it's not reality, is it? So I've had people that come up to me in the street and just say, "Oh, I was really mean to you one time on Twitter, but can I have a picture?" I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, thank you, Stuart, for your question. Next question is from Anand. I hope I said that correctly, my love. He says, "Hi Sophie, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I love your passion for football. My question is, I hate your Chelsea policy of changing manager often, but it works good for our club, for your club. What's your opinion?" Good question. I've always said that, recently, I think probably up until Antonio Conte. No, I'd say when we got Jose Mourinho back, I thought that was it. I thought, okay, he's back. He's going to be our longevity manager. There's no doubt about it. We finally found a manager that's going to be at Chelsea for a few years, and because things went south so quickly, I then thought after he left that we're just going to keep going through manager after manager. And when we actually found Conte, I wasn't as excited as all you guys were because I wanted to see what he could do. But I'd say he's a very good manager. He's a calm manager. He's someone all the fans love. He jumps into the crowd. The fans sing his name ceremoniously, which is great, and we don't have that too often. So I'd say we need to do everything we can to keep this manager. It's probably the first time I've really felt strongly about this, and if we do get rid of him, I will lose my faith in it completely, because if we get rid of Antonio Conte, there will never be a long-term manager at Chelsea. It just won't happen. And I think firing a manager this close on doesn't do us any good anymore, because we're going to run out of managers. There's no better out there at the moment, in my opinion, so we have to stick with him. Anyway, next question. Marcus O'Neill, hello Marcus, says, Giroud, Morata or both against Barcelona? Good question. I went for Giroud in my Chelsea versus Rory, who starts Barcelona, so check that video if you haven't seen it already. But I think people have called me a little bit silly on that and called me stupid, and I was clueless and didn't know anything about football because Morata's got such good Champions League experience. The reason I picked Giroud is because he at the moment is scoring goals and Morata is not. So until I see Morata score a goal, that's the main thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a huge game, and I think playing him, he's got good Champions League experience, yes, but when he's not been on form as much as he has not this season, it does worry me. So I think everybody's a little bit too being a bit overprotective of him in this competition. I think everybody's being a little bit too naive in a way to think that just because he's got this experience that he's just going to shine all of a sudden when he hasn't scored any goals since I can't remember. But I'd love to see them both feature. That would be my answer, both, I'd say. Neil Patel says, have you ever done yoga? Have I ever done yoga? Yes, I have done it once. I thought it was easy. It's not as easy as it looks, is it? It was actually very painful, so I didn't do it again. But if I'm being honest, things I do at the gym now are more, weight-based. So I'll do a few classes a week, obviously, and then I do lots of weights. And even if it's weights for, chest, back, whatever, I do them because it helps the overall shape of your body. Do you know what I mean? It's not because you're trying to get huge muscles or something like that. It's just to sort of help with the overall shape. So yeah, there you go. I've done yoga once, and I probably won't be doing it too much again. Nathan Hollingworth says, what's your favourite type of coffee? Nathan, this will surprise you. I don't like coffee. I love the smell of it, but I've only ever drank water since I was a child. So to go back far, my mum took me to the doctor because I had a water infection, and they said, she's not allowed any orange juice, apple juice, any of these juices. They said only water. So when babies have bottles of milk, I have bottles of water, and I've always had bottles of water since. I've never had anything else. And even when I go out drinking to get drunk, I'll have shots. I won't have ever, a spirit in a mixer because I can't drink the soft drink. So yeah, just shots or water, and that's it. A green tea is good for the stomach, but other than that, that's it. Great question though. Russell, hello Russell. Hi Sophie, do you think if we don't win anything this season, we've had a bad season, and what is your opinion of the youngsters that have come in when called up? I think it's always been fantastic. I think Ampadu's been great. I think if we don't win anything this season, yeah, it's been a terrible season, but I think it's been a bad season already. I'll be honest, I haven't enjoyed this season at all. I know we're still in the FA Cup, I know we're still in the Champions League, but overall, I haven't seen good football. And what's more, I don't think the players care as much this season as they did last. And I think you can just tell that sometimes. I think you can tell when Hazard really turns it on and when he can't be bothered. I think a lot of it, yeah, will be down to confidence being knocked. I think Bakayoko's in a bit of a state where he doesn't really know where he fits in, and that's knocked his confidence. He's getting so much criticism. But I don't think we've had a good season. I've seen really, really good individual performances, but overall, it's not been a good season for us. So even if we do win a trophy, it will be fantastic. But I wouldn't say that our play this season has been good. That's what I'd say. I'd say we've done fantastic to win a trophy, but for the last 6, 7, 8 months, we've not really been the Chelsea that I know and I like to watch, if I'm being honest. Next question. What venue/city do you enjoy most going for an away Chelsea fixture? Good question. I've always said White Hart Lane's my favourite away day, but going up, as in terms of that part of London, I'm not really too keen on it. I would say if we're going domestically, it would be Newcastle. Newcastle away is a great day out. Fantastic day out with my friend. You can go out, get drunk in the day, you can go to a nice restaurant, you go out in the evening, and my friend's a Newcastle fan, so we both go out for the day and then have a bit of banter and whatever. So yeah, I'd say Newcastle always decent. Ghost says Michy or Morata. Personally, I choose Michy. Yeah, I'm gonna say Michy. I love the heart and soul that he puts into his performance. I love the interaction on Twitter. I think I just think it's nice to see that a player actually wants to interact with the fans and be funny and, bring a bit of laughter back to football. That's what I like, I think he's great, and I think he's doing fantastically at Dortmund, and it's absolutely no shock to me that he's doing so. He just needed a bit of a confidence, a bit of a boost in a manager that wanted him, and I think when he went to Dortmund, he knew they wanted him, and he's shining there, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, especially if we can get him back next season. Okay, last few questions. Peter Scolan. Hello, Peter. You followed me for ages. Thank you for your support. Sophie, thanks for being amazing as always. Thank you, Peter. So you too. What do you think it will What do you think it will take teams up there to? How do I put this? What do you think it will take teams up there to put with the standards of City? It's scary what they can do, but there's bound to be some way of competing with them. Would love to hear your thoughts. Good, very, very good question, Pete. I think City, in a way, you can't really blame any team now for buying their way into football. Every team is trying to do it. If any team had the money, like City do, they'd all be doing exactly the same thing. I think the only problem with City is the money's never going to run out. I think it has got slightly ridiculous, if I'm being honest. I think it's one thing to buy really expensive players. I think it's one thing to make record signings, but City can more or less have anyone they want when they want, which is why you're seeing the likes of Mahrez for 90 million, which wouldn't really have been happening, I don't think, if Leicester didn't know City had the money. So I think it is possible, but I think what will come is, I think the only way to really compete with them will be obviously stricter financial rules, and secondly, you're going to have to wait for City to slip up, and I think that will only come when they think, a bit like Barcelona really in that 2-2 when we won the Champions League that year. They think they've won it because we've had a man sent off, and the things happen in games where they're not going to be expecting it, and I expect that will happen one day at the last hurdle, and that will settle things out. And we are in the Premier League, so although they've done it this season, the Premier League's never really stayed the same consistently over 2 or 3 seasons. So it's very hard to retain the double. I know we've done it, but I don't see that happening long term. I think this is a fantastic season for them. I think they've flown ahead of everybody else. I think one of the main reasons for that, and not only do they have the best team and they've got a good manager, but all the other teams below them, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, City, and Man United, none of us have really been that fantastic, so yeah, that's what I'd say. Mo_11 says, what are your biggest regrets in life? I'm sure I've got many, as lots of people do. I would say, there's quite a few. Maybe I'll talk about that one day in a different interview. But yeah, I would say one regret is not moving to London sooner, because I love this city, and I think had I moved sooner, I would have been able to start YouTubing a lot quicker, because I really didn't even know that people YouTubed. I had no knowledge of anything when I lived in a small town, so it would have been great to move up here a bit quicker, but everything happens for a reason, and I went through university and everything in London so that I could be here and go to the games, and everything has fallen into place. It just took a little bit longer than normal. Okay, and then last question, Jessie Matthew Cooper says, have you ever considered acting in films? Good question. Well, that was my degree at university. I did performing arts. I did 3 years there. But for me, because I wanted to do modelling and acting and presenting and all these things, I actually missed quite a lot of my university lectures, and a lot of my classmates thought that I was a really lazy pupil, a really lazy student, but I wasn't. It's because I chose to prioritise going to auditions over my lectures, and maybe that wasn't a good thing to do, and I still managed to get, you know, an okay grade at university. But I think it came to be that I think acting in films, it's a very tough industry. I remember interviewing for one university, and out of 2,000 applicants, they only chose 5 girls. And it was a case of if one of you had brown hair on the course, they might not choose another brown-haired girl. They'd just choose a blonde. It was, you know, your ability to act was sort of irrelevant, you know, if they already had somebody similar to you on the course. So I went down the presenting route, and I love what I'm doing now because it's more interactive with you, it's more down to earth, and if anything ever came up, I'd absolutely love to do it. But, you know, like I say, there's a right time for everything and a right project. So hopefully once something like that will come up one day. But for the moment, I'm focusing on my presenting with all you guys. Anyway, thank you for all your questions. Loved that. I'm actually thinking of starting my own YouTube, but more lifestyle. It's going to be Sophie Rose Vlogs, that's what it's going to be called. So if you all think it's a good idea, please comment below and let me know your thoughts on that. It's going to be everything. I travel a lot, so it'll be all my trips to America, my away days, lots of things, you know, days out with my family, what I do on nights out, what else I do for work. So if you're interested in all that, let me know. Comment below, and I'm going to really try and start that very soon. I expect end of March or middle of March, April. I'm going to hopefully get that going, and you guys can just tell me if you think it's a good idea or not. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all Tuesday night for Barcelona. Absolutely buzzing for this game, so nervous, and I'm sure the bridge is going to be rocking.